What do you think expectations are this year?
Well, I think they're high. If you look at the Catch Paws and other sites, we are preseason #1 in our region. And so I think there's an expectation for us to win our region. And I think it's a good thing. I think our kids worked all year last year to be in this position. And we are going to build off last year. And our goal as a team, anytime you have a goal to win a state tournament, it can't happen unless you win your region. So you never can overpass your region and say our goal is to win the state. We want to win the region. That's our #1 goal, and we're going to prepare for that. As a team, that's our goal. And we have more individual goals as a coaching staff. We want our kids to continue to grow in character. We want our kids to continue to grow and be together, play together, things like that. Those short-term goals, but overall long-term goal for our team, when you're talking about basketball success, it would be to win our region.
Okay. What are you all doing differently this year that maybe you didn't do last year that will help you do that?
Well, it's not necessarily that we're doing a ton of things different. This is my second year as the head coach here, and so we are continuing to build our program. We've seen already things carry over from last season into this season that are a lot better. Our defense early on in practice has been a lot better than it was even at the middle of the season last year. And I think a lot of that is because our kids have learned what our expectations for them are in 1 year last year, and it's carrying over to this year. And so it's not that we're doing a ton of things different as much as kids are learning our program, learning our system. They've had a full year in it, and now we're starting to see some rewards and benefits of being here for a year.
And since this isn't your second year, what are you trying to stress and build on exactly?
Fundamentals, I think the game about, you could run, a lot of coaches run 80% of their practices off plays and defensive plays, offensive plays, and execution. And about 15 to 20% of the games involve that. Most of the games, 90% of it's fundamentals. And so if we can work on offensively, if we can work on our shooting, ball handling, dribbling, and passing, if we can do those things, and then defensively, if we can do the small things like create deflections, use our hands, be active with our hands, have good footwork, then if you can build off those fundamental things, it's a lot easier to run an offense. It's a lot easier to teach a 2-3 zone, a 1-3-1 zone. It's a lot easier to teach whatever defenses you want to run as a team. But I think individual fundamentals are important.
And who do you think is going to step up for you all and be leaders of this team this year?
Well, obviously we expect Des Marshall to step up as a leader. He's the first kid. We've got a lot of excitement because, he's the first kid in the history of our school to reach the 1,000-point club for the boys team. He's been our best player the last 3 years. And so we expect him to step up as a leader. We expect him to make big plays for us. Buddy Johnson, he had a great year for us last year. I think he's one of the best shooters in the state. He's probably the best shooter in the state. And so we expect him to have big games, big performances for us. He's also one of the best on-the-ball defenders in our region and around this area. And so we expect for them to be our main leaders. And we've got some other guys. We've got some young guys. We've got another senior, Therese Smith. Therese came to us 3 weeks before the season was over last season from Michigan. And he's a 6'6" forward center for us. And he came to us late in the year, and so now we're finally going to have him for a full year. So we expect some big things out of him. We've also got some young kids. Our point guard's a sophomore, Brent Kidwell. He's one of the best open court passers that I've seen at the high school level in a while. And so we have a lot of high hopes with him running the point guard for us. He does a good job. Ralphie Stone's a junior for us. Ralphie's got a load of talent. He's he's probably the most athletic kid in the region. And so we've got a lot of pieces. We can go 10 to 12 deep with our team, and so we go pretty deep. We can get a lot of guys in there if we need to. So we've got a lot of high hopes and we've got a lot of expectations for our team, and we think it could be a great year for us.
And then you mentioned Britton Kidwell. Is there any other, sophomore or freshman that you think might make an impact this year?
Well, we've got a lot of sophomores dressing, but this year, more so than last year, we've got a junior and we've got four seniors, and we have 6 juniors. And those juniors or seniors are ready to play. They're a lot more physical, mature than our sophomores and freshmen. We've got some really good freshmen and really good sophomores that we feel like are going to make a big impact in our program. They may be a year away because of physically they may be a year away, but they're great kids. They got great talent. Grant Clarkson's a freshman. He can shoot the eyes out of it. He's a good point guard. He's going to do some damage eventually. He's a year away physically. Mort Sorrells and Deion Cochran are 2 sophomores that I think are going to be great players in the state and going to get their names out there one day. But as far as varsity play this year, they're physically maturing a little bit later than a Quentin Snyder or Keelan Martin or Ralphie Stone in our program. Kids that you see early on, that's because of their maturity, but physically. And so some of our kids aren't physically that mature at a young age.
And then what tournaments do you think you'll all be playing in this year?
We're playing in the King of the Bluegrass tournament, and we're playing in the Toyota Classic.
Okay. And then, you talked about being the favorites in the H region.
Yeah.
Who do you think might challenge you for that? And
there's a lot of teams that have some talent and some good chemistry. I think number one, you can't overlook Oldham County. I know that they've been defending champions for the last 2 years. I know they lost 5-6 seniors off the last year's team, but Jason Holland does a great job coaching them. He did a great job when he was at Henry County with a lot less talent. You always had to worry about him. He prepares well, and so I think you're always going to have to worry about Oldham County. 2 teams that I really think, 2 or 3, I think that would be top contenders would be definitely South Oldham. They didn't lose anybody off last year's team, and they were a top 3 team last year in our region. So I think that they are going to be somebody that we would have to be very well prepared for. Steve Simpson, they do a good job. They shoot the ball well. They're hard to guard because they spread you out. I think Owen County has a lot of young talent coming up. They've got a big kid in the Williams boy that is a great post player for a freshman. They've got some guards that can go around him. I think they're going to be a tough team. I also think Gallatin County and Simon Kenton, up in that area, I think they're going to be 2 teams that we're going to have to keep an eye on and be very prepared for.